to all the dispossessed youth of Africa, for perpetuation of communion with ancestral spirits through the fight for African freedom, and in the firm faith that the dead, the living, and the unborn will unite to build the destroyed shrines. Selah. Hello and welcome, beloveds, to another episode of Wake Up Africa. My name is Dr. Mumbi Seraki. How you doing? How's everything going? I really do pray that you are well in all your ways and that you're moving into living life truly on your own terms. We want to send a special shout out to our Patreon family. Thank you so much for supporting us on that platform, and everyone that sends us, love donations through PayPal. We love you so much. Thanks for all the shout outs on the outfits, beloveds. No, I don't have a fashion line yet. Beloveds, we're getting off grid. I mean, this is not the season nor the time. I just wouldn't do it. I just wouldn't do it to you guys. You know what I mean? So special shout out to Dwight Sykes, Jakato Rusom, and I'll give a few more. I've gotten the site. Alonzo Horton, longtime supporter. Benjamin White, longtime supporter. Project Exodus Media. Interesting. Want to know what you're about. John Owens, Betty Riggs, Doran Tate, Cecil Mwangi, and Medgar Varine, Crystal Young, and Franklin, Sterling Simmons. Thank you so much, Sean Rogers, and many, many more. If I missed out your name, please don't take it personally. I'm so grateful for the support, and there is a gift in the mail. So, a certain story has come across my desk, and I wanted to share it with you just to show you how important the narrative is. I think I've been, banging on about how we have to be living in our own narrative, how we have to shape and mold our own story. And the reason we were disempowered because our story was taken from us, and we were given a foreign story where we're at the bottom of the freaking pyramid. And that's the story that is, that people willingly accept to be taught to their children, that they've just subconsciously accepted themselves. I mean, a lot of people still believe, especially on the continent, beloveds, like the awakening movement hasn't happened that much across the continent as it has, with our diaspora family. A lot of them still believe the narrative of we were literally barbarians living in the forest and the MZUNGU came and cleaned us up. When if you look into it, it's the other way around. Look into what the Moors did in Spain and across Europe, stories for other days. But now, last year we had a lot of these big, most famous statues of the Western history, as they're calling it, brought down. And Churchill's, statue was decimated. So many others in Belgium. I think King Leopold was decimated, brought down in this Black Lives Matter. And there were two theories that came out. Some people actually believed that this was being done on purpose. We give too much power to the enemy, beloveds. But some people believed that this was being done on purpose, and that, the New World Order wanted us to take us back to a 0 point where they would basically erase all the negative things they had done and kind of rewrite history, which is a cycle that they keep doing and have done many times before, where they'll just re-script everything, rewrite everything. But maybe I'll get into that in a future episode. But now, now what's happened is that, historians in the divided kingdom, specifically Cambridge University, they've come together with others, and they're apparently super famous. They've launched something that they're calling History Reclaimed. Like the sheer arrogance of that, seriously. And the fact that most of our people will get it, like why it's so arrogant of them to say that is crazy. But this should be a wake-up call. Even if our governments aren't rewriting the history, rewrite it for yourself. Like, get to know who your people really were, the heavenly origins of your bloodlines, the angelic realms that you come from, and the magnificent things that they built on Earth, because this was a solar melanated planet. We just weren't on Africa, but Africa is the arc right now. So so they say that some of the world's most distinguished historians, and they give some names, have joined forces to found History Reclaimed, an initiative designed to call out misleading narratives about historical figures. And they're taking very personally, like, the things that were said, about Churchill, about Rhodes, Cecil Rhodes, where they've been called genocidal killers, etc., etc. So they said, a lot of us were concerned that things were being said that were clearly not true. If people are told that the whole history of their country is shameful, that it's based on genocide, racism, and exploitation, then what are they going to think is worth defending? So I thought, well, let's try and get some people together and not say that our history is perfect, because no history is, but to say that some of these stories and some of these things are simply not true. Wow. Beloveds, this should wake you up to the importance of the narrative. A few of their statues are brought down, and they're crying foul. They're out there trying to go out, and and they're getting a lot of publicity. This happened like a couple of days ago, and it's already, they're getting a lot of that mainstream media push. The Muzungu does everything they can to control the narrative and to keep their story alive, because that's their lifeline. Thank God our lifeline isn't our narrative, but it's the reason that so many of us are in insomnia, beloveds. Let's take a short break. We'll be right back.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, Africa.
Welcome back to Wake Up Africa. My name is Dr. Mumbi Seraki. Thank you to everyone that has subscribed. Go ahead and like the videos, beloveds, so it gets out to more and more of our people. There's a lot going on, not just with censorship, but in getting alternative voices out there. Many of our people are building their own websites, so if there's ever any YouTuber you liked, you can definitely check out their website. You can check out my website, actually, www.drmumbishow.com. We are going to be taking all those news stories down, so definitely go and check it out. See, some of those old stories we covered, because you'll see how it's unfolding now. We're just in a new season, so we're going to be transitioning all that information somehow, some way. And special shout out to Aminify, the guys who did my website. I'll put their links down below. So, what do you think about this? Historians launch History Reclaimed to combat simply fake narratives. Which stories are fake? Which narratives are fake? But this should be a wake-up call to our people about the importance, the absolute critical importance of the narrative. And you especially, this message goes out to all of us individually, first and foremost. We have to check what history, her story, our story we're believing in. And there's easy ways to just break the lies that Babylon has told you, the fake narratives. It's just by doing a bit of research, beloveds. That's how you do it. I was just letting the wind go by. But that's how you do it. You start by doing a bit of research, expanding your mind, being open to the possibilities that we are the pharaohs. We are descendants of the pharaohs. We are descendants of the Hebrews. We're descendants, we may even come from Sirius A and B. Expand your mind in order to expand your possibilities. The narrative limits you, but it also controls you. And that's why the powers that be want to control everything. They want to control the narrative. They even want to control how the good and the bad is balanced out in their own nations. And it's really important, if you're a parent out there, don't leave it to any educational institution to tell your children the truth about who we are, where we came from, our mighty empires like Timbuktu, Ethiopia, Kemet, some of the great teachings of our own people. Incorporate that. I mean, I know a lot of you are already taking your children out of public school because of the dangers, and you started your homeschooling, and there's so much that you could teach your children about, our own people in your homeschooling. There's so much to cover. But this story should serve as a wake up call to all of us that if the powers that be are so concerned about what people are saying about them, shouldn't we, and controlling and upholding their narrative, shouldn't we be doing the same thing? And I really believe, beloveds, that once we're out of Babylon and Babylon falls, one of our biggest roles, especially those of us in Eden, those of us on the ark, will literally be going from village to village, telling our truths, sharing our narrative, just the way our fathers and mothers of the independence movement did it. Like, we're going to have to start from ground zero again, because everything was taken so that everything could be taken. They took our story, whitewashed it. They love to do that. Take our characters and give them a white face. But that can only happen if you haven't taken the time to know your story for yourself. If you're still relying on anyone to be kind of filtering through that information and making sure you're getting the correct information, then you're already a sitting duck for the mental domination and takeover that's taking place right now. And for those of us who know, I think it's so important for us to document, to download, to save up all the brilliant documentaries and speeches and everything that have been given by our people to share with those after the fall. Tuko pamoja.